Because this is a very important feast. I suppose every Sunday is important, but this one, an interesting one. We have one parishioner that I know of, there may be more, who participate in what we call Civil War reenactments. Kid's heavily into it. He's got all the equipment, the outfits, and they go on and they reenact Civil War battles. Pretty cool stuff. Never been to one of those, but they're pretty cool stuff. They are actors. Nobody gets hurt in these reenactments. Unless somebody takes a heart attack or something, nobody gets hurt, okay? That's all it is. They are actors. They're having fun. Okay, that's different than what we do at Mass. What we do at Mass, and it was read for us, Lauren read it for us in that second reading, you saw it at the Remembrance of D-Day a couple weeks ago. All the networks were talking to guys standing on the shores of Normandy who had actually fought there. I don't see anybody in this building right now 95 years old who was old enough to have been there. But these guys had been there. For some, it was the first time they had been back to Normandy since D-Day, 75 years ago. And they're interviewing the guys. What do you remember? What was it like? What does it mean to you to be back here? Especially if it's the first time you've been back since D-Day. And the one guy just stared out towards the ocean. He didn't say a word. And the girl doing the woman doing the interview, he kept the microphone. And he just stood and looked out towards the ocean. For minutes. He wasn't there on the beach anymore. He was there in his mind 75 years ago, remembering what it was actually like to hear men screaming for the medic or their mothers, the smell of gunpowder, the booming of artillery. And he was gone. He was gone. And she has the microphone in front of him. He's just standing out there, looking at what it was like to actually be there. A couple thousand men died in a couple hours. And that's just on our side. That's what we do at Mass. It's like we're back at the Last Supper. Or I should say the Last Supper comes here. We're actually there. That's what they don't have at Shiloh Baptist, and they are good Christians. But they don't believe that they're actually there in the real presence of Christ at the Last Supper. The smell of bread, the taste of wine. That's, if you listen to that first reading about the priest and Melchizedek, that's why I'm important. The deacon can't do what I do. Deacon's a good man. But I take the bread and the wine that you give. And that, most people bring the gifts up at Mass. That's an important thing. And I take the place of Jesus. However imperfectly I might do that. I say the same words he said 2,000 years ago. There's only ever been one Mass. And that was on Holy Thursday and Good Friday. There's only ever been one priest. And that was Jesus. There's only ever been one altar. And that was the cross. Talk about blood. And every time we come to Mass, it's like we're there. You often hear kids say this. I don't get anything out of Mass. That's not the question. The question is, what did they bring to Mass? When they bring up that water and wine, and I say, pray, brethren, that these gifts may be acceptable to God, the Almighty Father. What I'm saying is, what you brought to Mass, I'm offering to God for you. Maybe this has been a bad week. Maybe it's been a bad week. Maybe you've had sickness. Maybe you've lost a loved one. Maybe you've lost a love. Maybe you got bad news. Lost a job. Maybe you got good news. Had a baby. Got a raise. That's what you bring up in those gifts. And I offer them for you to God. That's why all the nonsense about the priests in the last year has been so painful. Because it makes it look like I'm not worthy to do that. You see? So it all ties together. What you bring to Mass, I bring to God. for you. That's why I'm important. That's why this is important. It's like we're at the Last Supper again. We should be like that guy, staring that we're in the presence of God in the Eucharist. Not just rudely come up and saying, body cry, amen, amen. This is powerful that we're at the Last Supper, offering our lives to God because he offered his for us. All of those men standing there on that beach that day know that that will be the last time that they're ever going to be there. They're in their 90s. They're not going back again. Next 5 years, they're not going to be back there. This is it. But they were there for a minute, 75 years ago. We're here 2,000 years ago. All we can say is, amen. 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 Let us stand, my friends, and we'll